Heartwarming moment, Billionaire reveals incredible life-changing help for mom's hidden struggle. In a small town like Mason City, Iowa, stories of struggle and triumph take on a life of their own. And so did the tale of Emily, a single mother working tirelessly to keep her family afloat. Every morning, while the rest of the world was still nestled under warm blankets, she rose before dawn, determined to make a difference. Her 3 little ones Luke, Mia, and Ben depended on her, and she, in turn, depended on her sheer grit to push through the hardships. Bills piled high, just like the winter snow outside, threatening to smother her spirit. But Emily refused to let that happen. During one ordinary afternoon, while setting up for a charity bake sale at her children's school, Emily's hands were flour-covered, her heart full. She smiled, trying to radiate positivity for her kids and the crowd bustling around her. With every cupcake she arranged, she felt a small thrill of hope. Little did she know, her unassuming determination was about to draw the attention of James Carter, Mason City's own billionaire and the very embodiment of the American dream. James was back in town, reminiscing about his childhood and searching for genuine stories that could inspire his philanthropic mission. As he watched Emily juggle responsibilities, her fierce dedication struck him, as if lighting a fire within his own heart. A chance encounter turned into a pivotal moment. Inspired by her perseverance, James made a decision that would change everything. He quietly paid off Emily's mounting debts, providing her with a chance at real stability while keeping his identity a secret. When the news broke, the town erupted in excitement. A beacon of hope had arrived for the weary mother, but for Emily, it was a double-edged sword. As the support poured in, pride mingled with gratitude, leading to a whirlwind of emotions. Emily felt a twinge of inadequacy, like the weight of the world had somehow been shifted off her shoulders, but her spirit still felt heavy. Could she really accept help when it was rooted in wealth? Did it overshadow all the hard work she'd done to get here? The community support felt like a dream, and yet, at that moment, she couldn't shake the worry that she was losing her own identity. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The day of the heartfelt fundraiser arrived, teeming with community spirit, each corner filled with laughter and joy, while Emily felt like an outsider in her own story. It was supposed to be a celebration of resilience, but for her, it became the backdrop for her internal struggle. As she mingled, she couldn't help but notice others glancing at her, beaming with admiration, not knowing the depth of her uncertainty. And when she locked eyes with James amid the jubilant chatter, her heart raced. Words escaped her, trapped in her throat as she stood frozen. James, sensing her turmoil, took a step closer, a hand outstretched, a silent invitation to connect. Surrounded by the community's warmth, Emily felt the impact of her conflicting emotions drown out the laughter around her. Should she accept his kindness and risk feeling weak? Or would she cling to her pride, standing firm in her struggles? As the events swirled around them, Emily's heart hung heavily in the balance, her eyes betraying the conflict within. In that moment of vulnerability, she had a choice to make, a choice that would define what it truly meant to rise from her struggles. What path would she choose? Emily felt the weight of the world in that moment, her heartbeat echoing in her ears. The festival buzzed with excitement all around her, but all she could focus on was James and the way he was looking at her, his expression a blend of encouragement and understanding. She noticed the small crowd around them, their laughter and chatter slowly fading into a blur. Suddenly, it was just the two of them, suspended in a moment she couldn't quite define. "Emily," he finally said, his voice steady and calm, "you don't have to carry this all alone." His words struck her like a bolt of lightning. They ignited something deep within her, a reminder that vulnerability does not equal weakness. But alongside that spark, a wave of frustration rose. How could he possibly understand? He was a billionaire, a man who had everything. She felt an odd mixture of anger and despair churning in her stomach. "But I'm not sure I want help," she managed to respond, her voice barely audible. "I've fought so hard to get here." James nodded, his gaze unwavering. "I admire that. It takes strength to fight, but there's also strength in accepting help when you need it. It doesn't diminish your achievements, Emily, it can lift you to new heights." His words hung in the air, and for a moment, the noise of the festival faded away completely. She felt a tug toward him, but also a fierce inclination to turn away. What would accepting help mean for her children? For her identity? At that moment, a little tug at her skirt pulled her back to reality. She looked down to see Mia, her curious eyes wide, and Luke beside her, the ever-curious Ben clutching her hand. "Mom, are you okay?" Mia asked, her voice sweet yet filled with concern. "You look sad." Emily knelt down to meet her children's eyes. "I'm okay, sweet pea. Just a lot to think about." Mia beamed back at her, a smile that filled her mother's heart with warmth. It was happiness that reminded Emily why she fought so hard in the first place. She couldn't let fear consume her. "I'm proud of you, Mommy," Luke added, his small voice holding a weight beyond his years. "You always say we should ask for help, right?" A small smile broke through Emily's previous thoughts. "That's true," she whispered, feeling her heart thump with a mix of gratitude and conflict. James shifted slightly closer, still watching her with a soft intensity. "It's not just about what you can handle alone. It's what you can build together. You have a whole community rallying behind you, championing your journey. Let them in." Tears threatened to spill as she grappled with his words. What would happen if she dared to step into this new possibility? What could collaborating with others achieve? As Emily looked back at James, she realized there was more to this than just his offer of help. There was potential for transformation, a chance to redefine what success looked like, even if it meant trusting others. "We can find a way to navigate this, together," she finally said, her voice stronger now. James smiled, the warmth in his expression shining like a beacon. "One step at a time. After all, every journey starts with a leap of faith." Her heart raced at the realization that perhaps this could be her moment to rewrite her narrative, to embrace the community and allow herself to dream bigger. But lingering doubts crept back in. Could she really trust the world, trust him? The laughter and joy of the festival returned in a rush, the crowd's energy washing over her. But Emily stood rooted, facing a pivotal moment that held her future in its hands. This was just the beginning, and she wondered what lay ahead. What if taking that leap could save not just herself but also her children? As new thoughts whirled in her mind, she felt the tension within her begin to unravel, but before she could explore that hope further, a loud voice cut through the crowd, drawing everyone's attention. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a surprise announcement regarding the charity we've all come to support today. Please gather around." Emily's heart thumped again, uncertainty roiling in her stomach. What surprise awaited them? Would it change everything she was just beginning to consider? The crowd buzzed with anticipation, drawn toward the podium where a man with a microphone stood beaming under the colorful festival lights. Emily's heart raced as she tried to piece together the fragments of hope and fear swirling inside her. She caught James's eye, who nodded reassuringly, as if urging her to stay present in this moment. "Today, we are not just celebrating this vibrant festival," the man announced, his voice amplified and warm, "but also the incredible stories of bravery that surround us. We've seen so many of you come together, and we want to honor that incredible spirit with a special opportunity." Emily felt the energy of those around her, a mix of curiosity and excitement buzzing in the air. She turned her gaze back to James, who watched the stage, his face neutral yet encouraging. The children huddled close, their eyes bright with innocence and wonder, unaware of the emotional battle their mother fought just moments before. The speaker continued, "We are thrilled to announce that the charity has decided to fund a mentorship program aimed at empowering single mothers in our community. This program will provide free resources, mentorship, and even scholarships for those looking to advance their education or start a business. A gasp surged through the crowd, followed by enthusiastic applause. Emily's breath hitched in her throat. Could this be the lifeline she needed? The thought of investment in her dreams sent a ripple of warmth through her chest. But doubts bubbled back up. Would she even qualify? Would she have the nerve to step forward and accept this kind of help? The announcement went on, outlining the details. Applications would be accepted starting next month, and there would be gatherings for interested participants to share their stories. With each word, the excitement crescendoed, and Emily felt herself teetering on the edge of something profound. Emily. James's gentle voice pulled her from the storm of her thoughts. This could be what you've been waiting for. Look around, everyone here loves you and wants to see you succeed. In that moment, Emily's mind flashed to late nights spent studying after the kids were asleep, to the muffled cries of despair when bills overwhelmed her, and to skinned knees and tantrums. Each recollection was heavy but also infused with resilience. Her children deserved better. They deserved a happy, fulfilled mom who could provide for them in ways she barely dared to imagine. Waves of emotion rolled through her as she considered the possibilities of joining this program. The fear of failure mingled with a spark of excitement. What if this was her chance to reclaim her dreams, to elevate her family instead of just surviving day to day? As the announcement ended and the crowd began to disperse, Emily took a deep breath, weighing the tension and potential of the moment. She could feel James's steadfast presence beside her, calm and supportive, like an anchor in her tumultuous sea of emotion. I need to think, she murmured, looking down at her children who still beamed, their innocence creating a contrast against her internal struggle. Of course, James replied quietly, there's no rush. Just remember this feeling of hope. But deep inside, Emily knew she had to make a decision soon. That sense of urgency tugged at her, a door cracking open to reveal bright possibilities, but only if she was willing to walk through. As they started to move toward the edge of the festival, Emily glanced back, watching families laugh together, joy bouncing off the colorful decorations. Suddenly, a thought pierced through her uncertainty: what would it take to truly embrace this opportunity? And then another voice echoed in her mind, louder than all others, asking if she was ready to step into this promise of change. The fear still danced at the edges, but with it came a pulse of possibility. What path would she choose? Would she leap into the unknown or let the moment slip away? As the evening sky darkened, she felt the weight of their future hinge on her next steps. Could she really trust the support around her? With her heart racing, she turned to James, a mixture of determination and vulnerability swirling within her. What would happen if she stepped forward to embrace this chance as a community? The festival lights cast a warm glow as Emily and her children made their way through the thinning crowd. Colorful ribbons fluttered in the evening breeze, but Emily's thoughts were a whirlwind. Each step felt heavy, filled with questions that tugged at her heart. As laughter and music echoed around them, she felt strangely isolated, a spectator in her own life. "Mom, can we have some cotton candy?" her youngest asked, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. The innocence in his voice cut through her cloud of uncertainty, and she couldn't help but smile. "Sure, buddy," she replied, mustering the energy to redirect her thoughts, even if just for a moment. As she purchased the sugary treat, she glanced back at James, who was speaking with a group of friends. He looked so at ease, yet Emily felt engulfed in self-doubt. What did I even bring my children here for? She wondered. They could have stayed home, where it was safe and predictable. Yet, deep down, a voice echoed, urging her to embrace this moment, the chance to be more than just a mother, but an empowered individual. As they settled on a nearby bench, Emily saw a flyer on the ground, crumpled but legible. It advertised the mentorship program, displaying hopeful images of moms like her, smiling and thriving. A pang of longing shot through her. Could she really be one of them? The dreams she had buried under the weight of responsibility began to resurface: pictures of her in a classroom, or running her own little shop, making crafts for others to enjoy. "Hey," James said, sliding onto the bench next to her. "You okay?" You've been quiet. I can't shake this feeling, she admitted, glancing at their kids who were now sharing cotton candy with sticky smiles. What if I try and fail? What if I never really get out of this rut? James sighed, his protective gaze steady as he considered her words. Emily, look at how far you've come. You've raised two amazing kids on your own. Taking this step doesn't mean you're abandoning them, it means you're giving them a stronger version of you. His words flickered like the festival lights, igniting a spark within her. But what if I stumble? What if you fly? He countered softly, his eyes filled with encouragement. A comfortable silence settled between them as Emily looked out over the festival grounds. The laughter and warmth of the night enveloped her like a blanket, and for the first time, she caught a glimpse of a future where fear didn't dictate her choices. Okay, maybe I'll go to the first meeting, she said, a tentative smile creeping onto her face. Great. Just remember that you're not alone in this, James replied, a grin spreading across his gentle features. You have a whole community behind you. As the festival wound down and the stars twinkled above, Emily felt lighter, the weight of uncertainty shifting just a bit. She held on to the hope that was forming around her like an invisible thread tying her to something greater than herself. Could this be the first step into a life she dared to dream of? But just as excitement began to take root, a part of her remained terrified. What if the pressure became overwhelming? She couldn't let that thought fester. Mom, can we go on the Ferris wheel? Her oldest chimed in, pulling her from her reverie. It was bright and towering over the festival, embodying the very essence of taking a leap into the unknown. With a deep breath, she nodded, knowing that life was all about those leaps. As they joined the line for the ride, Emily's heart raced with anticipation. She wasn't just entering a capsule on the Ferris wheel, she was gearing up to embrace a new part of herself. But as they rose higher above the festival, the ground becoming a distant blur, a sudden flash of doubt jolted her. What truly awaited her if she decided to apply for that mentorship program? Would her dreams sustain her in the face of life's uncertainties? The thought clung to her like the cool evening breeze, exciting yet frightening, as they reached the top. Up high, she took one last deep breath and gazed down at the festival. The colors, the laughter, the joy, it all swirled together in a moment that felt like both a beginning and an ending. Now she had to decide how she would respond to this opportunity life had presented. One thing was clear, there was no turning back. What awaited her at the summit of this ride and in her life was not just a moment of thrill but a chance to ignite a transformation she never thought possible. Would she seize this opportunity or let it drift away like cotton candy on the breeze? As the Ferris wheel swayed gently at its peak, Emily's heart pounded with a mix of exhilaration and fear. The world below seemed so small, just a vibrant blur of lights and laughter. But up here, suspended in the night, all her worries floated away temporarily. She glanced at her children, their faces alight with joy, caught up in the moment. Look, Mom! We're so high! Her youngest shouted, arms outstretched towards the stars. Their enthusiasm was infectious, and for a fleeting second, Emily felt the weight of her doubts lift. That's right. We can see everything from up here. She responded, forcing a smile that quivered at the edges as the moment echoed in her heart. The world looked different from up high. If she could only see her life from this perspective, maybe she could find the strength to leap into the unknown. Suddenly, the ride stopped, and they were poised at the top. Emily's breath caught in her throat, the view both breathtaking and daunting. In that suspended moment, she was faced with all the possibilities life offered, a world of dreams just waiting to be claimed. And yet, her heart journeyed to darker corners. What if she stepped forward and failed? What if she couldn't keep up with the demands of a new life? Mom! Her oldest called, breaking the silence. Can we go again? Their youthful excitement forced a laughter that danced in her chest. Maybe not just yet. She replied, squeezing her son's hand. But as she held on, she couldn't shake off the push and pull of fear and hope colliding in her mind. As the ride descended, she felt the thrill dissipating like the steam from a hot cup of cocoa on a wintry day. But with the descent came clarity. She wasn't merely riding a Ferris wheel, she was facing her own cycle of ups and downs. And just like the ride, her journey had peaks and valleys that she could navigate. "Hey, how about some hot chocolate after this?" James suggested, as they disembarked. "Sounds perfect," Emily replied, relieved to have him beside her. The warmth of his support tethered her like the ropes of the Ferris wheel, firm and steady. They found a small stand, the scent of cocoa wafting through the air. As they sipped their drinks, laughter still echoed in the background, reminding Emily of the promise of community. She couldn't help but admire the mothers around her, each caught in their own journey, yet sharing a singular hope. "Do you think they all feel this way?" she asked James, nodding towards a group of moms chatting animatedly nearby. "Absolutely," he affirmed. "We all have our struggles. But being here, connecting with one another, that's the key. It reminds us we're never really alone." His words sent a warm surge through her. Empowered, she thought about that mentorship program again, and a spark of ambition rekindled within her. "What if I told you I was thinking of signing up?" she said suddenly, surprising even herself. James looked at her, eyes shining with pride. "That's amazing. Think of everything you could achieve. Just remember, it's a journey, not a race." "But what if I'm not good enough?" she whispered, vulnerability creeping into her voice. "Emily," he said gently, "what if you are? What if this changes everything? Sometimes it takes one leap to uncover the magic beneath." She took a deep breath, feeling like a tightrope walker standing at the edge. The thoughts of comfort and safety beckoned, but the possibility of growth flickered tantalizingly just out of reach. As they walked back toward the festival, Emily's spirit felt lighter, but a thick knot tightened in her stomach. Could she really take this step? Could she step into her own light without being sure of the outcome? Suddenly, she spotted the flyer again, stark against the grass. It was like a lighthouse guiding her through the fog of uncertainty. Instinctively, she picked it up, feeling its promise pulse through her fingertips. "Mom, can we ride the carousel next?" her youngest daughter asked, bouncing on her feet with excitement. "Absolutely, let us do that," Emily said. The spinning colors of the carousel reflected the swirling thoughts in her mind, joy, fear, and a dare to chase the dreams that felt so distant. Together, they moved towards the ride, the night alive with possibility. But what if the doubts she felt were just whispers of the past trying to derail her future? The carousel loomed ahead, its playful music beckoning her to join in and embrace life head-on. With every step, the questions remained: was she ready to break from the past and forge a new path? She took a deep breath as she reached the entrance, her heart racing again, not from fear, but with the thrill of what lay ahead. Would she find the strength to answer that call, or would she remain in the shadows of her own fears? As the carousel spun to life, she stepped into the moment, poised at the brink of something transformative. Would she finally take that leap, even as uncertainty swirled around her like the bright lights of the festival? Emily settled onto one of the painted horses, her heart pounding in her chest as the ride began to spin. With each rotation, she felt the adrenaline rush through her veins, heightening the contrast between joy and anticipation. The bright lights of the fair spun faster around her, blurring into a feast of colors that mirrored the chaos inside her mind. The carousel creaked gently, its rhythmic motion reminding her of a heartbeat. As they climbed, she could hear the ecstatic laughter of her children blending with the music that played, creating an orchestra of happiness. For the first time in weeks, she felt a grin stretch wide across her face, a genuine smile born not merely from the moment, but from an awakening inside her. Yet, beneath that smile, the worries pulsed like a busy city street. Could she really do this? The uncertainties piled like cotton candy at the fair, sweet but potentially overwhelming. What if the program didn't lead to where she wanted? What if it exposed her more than it helped? "Mom, look!" Her youngest pointed, eyes bright like lanterns. I'm riding a unicorn. Emily couldn't help but laugh. Yes, you are. Just like in a fairy tale. Moments like these, the whimsical, innocent joy of her kids, were why she needed to take the leap. Their laughter echoed in her ears, and she realized she wanted them to see her as more than just a mother. She wanted them to see a woman willing to chase her dreams, no matter how daunting they felt. As the carousel slowed, a familiar face emerged from the crowd. It was Sarah, one of the many other mothers from her neighborhood. A rush of warmth swept through Emily, accompanied by a pulse of anxiety. They had shared countless school events, and yet, this would be the first time Emily would consider showing vulnerability around her. What if it was a mistake? Hey, Emily. Sarah called, her smile bright under the colorful lights. I'm so glad to see you here. The kids look like they're having a blast. They are. It's a good night, Emily replied, her voice steadier than she felt. Have you heard about the mentorship program? Sarah asked, her tone light but curious. Emily hesitated before admitting, actually, I was just thinking about signing up. Sarah's eyes lit up. Oh, you should. It's so rewarding. I did it last year, and it completely changed my perspective. I grew so much. Hearing Sarah's genuine excitement flooded Emily with inspiration, but it also ignited fears. Could it truly be that transformative? Or was this just another fleeting moment of encouragement she'd let slip away into the night? Really? Emily couldn't hide her intrigue. Absolutely. Sarah affirmed, leaning in as the carousel came to a halt. You've got so much to offer, Emily. You just need to believe it. The carousel's music faded as the kids scrambled off their horses, faces shining with remnants of magic. Emily stood, her heart racing again, but this time it was spurred on by a different feeling. She was standing on the precipice between her past and what was waiting on the other side. She caught James' eye from across the way, and he nodded encouragingly. Suddenly, Emily felt the walls around her doubts start to crack. What if her dream was worth pursuing, even if she stumbled? The thrill of vulnerability danced through her. Let us go find a quiet spot, Sarah. I'd love to hear more about your experience, Emily said, the words spilling from her heart. As the night settled into the lingering warmth of possibility, Emily felt a renewed determination ripple through her. She was ready to embrace the chaos, to weave herself into the fabric of that brighter future. And just then, as they turned to leave, her youngest tugs at her sleeve, asking about the magic show around the corner. Mom! Can we see it next? She pleaded, eyes glistening. Absolutely, sweetheart. Emily laughed again, this time with a touch more courage. But all shadows didn't disappear just yet. Could she really balance everything? As they walked in search of that magic, doubt flickered like the colorful lights overhead. What would her next steps be? Would she truly embrace the opportunity before her, or would fear smother her ambition once more? They ambled through the fairgrounds, the vibrant sounds enveloping them like a warm hug. The laughter of children swirled around Emily, making her heart swell. But even amid the excitement, thoughts of the upcoming mentorship program loomed large. Her grip on the threads of her dreams tightened. Mom, look! Her daughter exclaimed, pointing at a magician performing tricks just a few steps away. The boy juggled colorful scarves, his confident smile captivating the onlookers. Emily watched as her daughter gasped in delight, a spark in her eyes that mirrored Emily's own flickering hopes. That it struck her then, wasn't this what she wanted? To fill her children's lives with magic, even if it meant confronting her fears. Clenching her hands, she nodded resolutely. Let us go watch. They settled on a blanket laid out near the stage, the colors of the fair creating a backdrop of glitter and life. Emily let herself relax, if only for a moment, letting the laughter of her kids wrap around her like a soft shawl. As the magician performed another astonishing act, the world felt light. Yet, as she watched the show, Emily's mind continued to whirl. Thoughts of her ambitions intertwined with doubt, swirling chaotically just beneath the surface. What if she craved success and fulfillment but ended up too busy to be present in her children's lives? James was nearby, his present demeanor reminding her of the support that had always been there, steady and reliable. She caught his eye again. His warm smile anchored her amidst her internal storm. Encouragement radiated from him, a silent affirmation of her capabilities. After all, he had always believed in her, often more than she believed in herself. The show concluded with a flourish, and Emily's kids erupted in applause, their faces beaming with uncontained joy. Emily joined in, letting the excitement wash over her. Then, suddenly, Sarah appeared again, her eyes sparkling as if she were riding the whirlwind too. "Isn't he fantastic?" Sarah beamed, her enthusiasm infectious. "It makes you believe in magic again, doesn't it?" "It really does." Emily turned to Sarah, the night's warmth igniting a spark of connection. Would she let this be the moment she claimed her magic too? "So, what is stopping you from signing up?" Sarah leaned closer, her voice earnest. "You have so much to share with others. I can't imagine what is holding you back." At that moment, Emily felt the weight of the world shift. "Fear," she said quietly, the admission hanging between them. "Fear of not being enough. Fear of not being able to juggle it all." Sarah shook her head, determination etched on her face. "We all have fears, Emily. But we can't let them overshadow what we're capable of. You can be both a wonderful mom and an inspiring mentor. They're not mutually exclusive." Emily pondered Sarah's words. What if she could build a bridge between these two parts of her life? Could she allow herself to step into the unknown while still keeping one foot firmly planted in family life? Just then, her youngest turned to her with hopeful eyes. "Mom, can we go play games next?" "Yes, let us." Emily replied, her spirits buoyed. They headed toward the game stalls, bright lights flickering above like a kaleidoscope of memories waiting to be made. With each step, Emily felt a fire kindle within. She could almost taste the sweetness of possibility, and it tasted good. As her kids cheered while knocking down milk bottles, Emily's laughter carried with it newfound strength. She caught sight of the mentorship booth across the way, glimmering like the golden prize at the end of a long game. Could tonight be the turning point? Suddenly, the world around her felt vast, brimming with chances. With her heart racing in anticipation, Emily made a decision. "Let us go check that booth out afterward," she announced, determination lighting her voice. Sarah's eyes sparkled with approval. "Yes. That sounds perfect." Strength surged through her. But as they played, Emily's heart fluttered between hope and fear. This was just the beginning, and stepping forward meant risking heartache. Would she find the courage to chase her dreams? As she put on a brave face for her children, doubt still lingered waiting, watching. In that vibrant moment, something changed deep within Emily. The mystery of what waited in the wings felt tantalizingly close. As the final game ended, a loud pop echoed nearby, and fireworks burst into the sky. The dazzling display mesmerized everyone, including Emily. But as she looked around, she couldn't shake the feeling that maybe, just maybe, her bigger journey was about to start. Would she be brave enough to chase after it? The air crackled with energy as the fireworks shimmered overhead, each explosion lighting up Emily's face in bursts of color. She stood frozen for a moment, caught between her children's sprawling delight and the calling of the mentorship booth looming nearby. "Wow! Did you see that one, Mom?" Her daughter jumped up and down, her eyes illuminated with wonder. All around them, laughter and applause mixed with the sputtering sounds of the fireworks, creating a soundscape that was uniquely joyful. "Yeah, sweetheart. It was beautiful," Emily managed to reply, though her mind was pulling her in two directions. One part of her wanted to lose herself in the family moment, but another part craved to reach out, dive into the unknown that the mentorship program represented. As the smoke from the last firework faded, the fairgrounds hummed with excitement. Emily noticed Sarah speaking animatedly to another friend about the magician's final trick, her smile bright like the remaining bursts in the sky. Emily felt a rush of admiration for Sarah, for her boldness, and for her unwavering support. In that moment, she realized that the magic was not just in the show but in embracing life's unpredictable journey. "Mom, can we go see the fireworks again next year?" Her eldest piped up, breaking her reverie. "Absolutely." But then a thought struck Emily, brightening her spirit. "And you know what? I want to be doing something exciting next year too. Like mentoring those who want to chase their own dreams." The kids looked at her, slightly puzzled but intrigued, and she couldn't help but smile. "You two are growing up, and I need to show you just how much fun stepping out of your comfort zone can be." James caught her eye and gave her a slow nod of approval, raising an eyebrow, silently encouraging her. With her breath steadying, Emily turned and headed towards the mentorship booth. Each step felt like a small victory, buoyed by the playful laughter of her children. She could feel the weight of fear lifting, replaced by a flutter of excitement. "Can we help?" her kids asked, eyes sparkling with eagerness. Emily chuckled, unable to hide her delight. "Of course. You both can help by cheering me on." They walked hand in hand, the night warm around them. The booth came into view, illuminated under the soft glow of fairy lights. A banner hung above, displaying hopeful words that urged ambition and courage. She felt a shiver of apprehension, merging with an undeniable thrill. As they approached, a woman behind the booth greeted them with a friendly smile. "Hello. Are you interested in becoming a mentor?" "Yes, I am," Emily replied boldly, surprised at the steadiness in her voice. "Wonderful." The woman's enthusiasm matched the sparks of fireworks above. "It's not just about teaching, it's about inspiring. Here, let me tell you about the program." The discussion flowed, and Emily felt those early seeds of doubt begin to wither as she listened. The possibilities stretched endlessly before her, bright and colorful like the fair around them. Her children remained nearby, captivated by the vibrant lights and playful energy of the fair, but just then, a crackle echoed nearby, a sudden jolt of chaos. Emily turned to see a young boy who had lost control of a prize balloon, watching helplessly as it floated away into the night sky. Her heart ached, caught in a web of empathy and memories of her own fears. "Mom." Her daughter's voice cut through her thoughts, innocent concern lacing it. "What's wrong?" Emily kneeled down to her children's level, swallowing the lump in her throat. "Sweetie, sometimes letting go is part of moving forward. It can feel scary, but it opens up new chances." Overhead, the last remnants of the fireworks faded like that balloon, leaving a quiet afterglow. This was her moment, a hinge between her fears and her aspirations. "Can I help him?" her son asked, pointing at the boy still staring up, tears reflecting in his eyes. "Yes, of course. Let us go help him." With her kids at her side, Emily rose, taking a step towards the boy. In that simple act, she felt the thrill of embracing not just her dreams but also life's poignant moments, reminding her that in helping others, she might just help herself too. As they approached the boy, Emily felt the doubts dissolve like the smoke from the fireworks. Maybe the spark ignited in her heart that night wasn't just about her own ambitions, but about the community she could build along the way. With each step, the journey unfolded before her anew, but just then, as they talked to the boy, a voice interrupted softly. "Would you like some help with that?" It was an older gentleman in a tailored suit, his presence surprising against the backdrop of vibrant chaos. As their eyes met, she realized he wasn't just any passerby, but someone significant. What did he want to offer? The older gentleman leaned slightly forward, the soft glow of the fairy lights catching his silver hair. There was a warmth in his eyes that put Emily at ease, yet his presence felt intimidating. "I couldn't help but notice your kindness towards the boy," he said, gesturing gently towards the young child, still gazing up at his lost balloon. "It's admirable to see a mother encouraging empathy in her children." Emily felt her cheeks flush. "Thank you," she replied, trying to steady her voice. She was surprised by the sincerity in his words. The man nodded, then shifted his gaze to the boy. "How about we give him something special in return for that balloon?" he suggested, a faint smile playing at the corners of his lips. "What do you mean?" Emily asked, intrigued. "Let us get him some cotton candy or a ride on the Ferris wheel," he said, addressing the boy directly. "What do you think? Would you like that?" The boy's eyes widened, his tears forgotten as he nodded vigorously. Emily exchanged glances with her children. They looked equal parts astonished and excited. "That sounds lovely," she said, her heart swelling with a sense of camaraderie. It was a simple act, but it felt pivotal, threading together the collective experience of kindness they could share. As they walked to the concession stand, the man introduced himself. "I'm Mark," he said with a reassuring smile. "You're really showing your kids what it means to be good to others." "I'm Emily," she replied, feeling a voice of sincerity in her own heart. "They learn a lot from my small moments." "Sometimes those small moments create the biggest ripples," he replied. "I've learned that lesson the hard way." "Have you?" she asked, curious now about this man who seemed steeped in wisdom. "You've been through something?" He glanced away for a moment, as if recalling a distant memory. "Let's just say life has taught me the importance of reaching out to those in need. It's why I'm here at this fair tonight, to honor the little acts of kindness and the joy they bring." Before Emily could pose more questions, they reached the stand, and Mark instantly ordered a large cotton candy with a couple of lingering smiles thrown in the boy's direction. "Here you go," he exclaimed, handing the treat over like a prize. The boy's face lit up. "Thank you," he squeaked, holding the cotton candy with both hands as if it were gold. Emily felt warmth flood her chest as she watched the joy transform the boy, her children's laughter adding to the melody of the moment. "This is a beautiful thing you've done, Mark," she said, her heart feeling oddly connected to this stranger. "I believe we're all striving to fill the world with a little more color," he said, glancing around at the glittering fairground, filled with lights and laughter. "Maybe you could join me in that endeavor." "What do you mean?" she asked, her pulse quickening slightly. "I've been looking for someone to help me with a mentorship program I've started." "I think you'd be a perfect fit," he said, his eyes holding hers with a hint of urgency. "Your passion for helping extend beyond your children, and I sense you have untapped potential." Her breath caught. This was the very opportunity she had been yearning for, yet it felt too surreal. "But I'm just a mom. What do I know about mentoring?" Mark laughed gently. "You'd be surprised at the value of lived experience and empathy. People are often drawn to those who understand, and you clearly do." Emily felt a swell of emotions. Was this truly the moment she had been waiting for? Could she embrace this next step, blending her passion with the call to inspire others? "Think about it. We could create something special together," he encouraged, his gaze unwavering. Excitement and fear battled within her. The idea felt monumental yet daunting. I will," she stammered, her voice thick with potential. "I'll think about it." "Good," he replied with a knowing smile. "That's all I ask. Just give it some thought." As they turned back towards her children, the laughter of the fair filled the air around them. Emily could feel the scales tipping, embarking on a new chapter she thought was reserved for others. Maybe she wasn't just a mother, perhaps she was meant for something more. With her heart still racing from the unexpected encounter, she spotted Sarah approaching with a friend, wide eyes round with enchantment. "Mom, can we go on the Ferris wheel now?" Sarah asked, brimming with excitement. Emily glanced at Mark. "Yes, let us go," she decided, and they all headed toward the ride. But as they walked, her mind swirled with possibilities and newfound hope. Where would this journey with Mark lead her, and would she truly be able to make a difference? Just as they reached the Ferris wheel, Emily's phone buzzed in her pocket. Picking it up, her heart sank as she read the message. It was from an old friend, asking if she could come by for a serious talk. What could that possibly mean? What kind of secrets were waiting for her? As Emily stood at the edge of the Ferris wheel's line, her heart was a mixture of excitement and dread. Mark's words echoed in her mind, "You have untapped potential." But with that potential came uncertainty. Would she rise to the occasion? Would she become the mentor she yearned to be? With her children chattering beside her, the smell of cotton candy swirling through the air, she felt torn between two worlds: the safety of motherhood and the thrilling unknown of her aspirations. As they stepped into the Ferris wheel's car, the world of Mason City shrank below her. She took a deep breath, trying to calm the flutter of fears. The upward climb provided a panoramic view of the vibrant festival, each sparkle reminding her of joy, community, and love. Looking at her children beaming with happiness, she knew this wasn't just about her. Their eyes sparkled with a mix of innocence and hope, eagerly awaiting her next move. "Mom, this is so fun!" Luke exclaimed, clutching at the railings, his voice brimming with exhilaration. "Yes. We can see everything." Mia cheered, eyes wide. At that moment, Emily realized she wanted to show them more than just resilience. She wanted to teach them the beauty of dreaming and sharing that journey with others. These children looked to her, and it was time to lead them into a world bursting with possibility. As the ride began its descent, she could feel the knot in her stomach unraveling. The support from the community, the new opportunity with Mark, everything was aligning in a way she never thought possible. Just as they reached the bottom, her phone buzzed again, jolting her back to reality. The message from her old friend felt startlingly heavy. It felt like a reminder of her past, one she couldn't ignore. But maybe it was time to confront it. After they got off, Emily turned toward her kids. "How about we take a quick break? I have something important to sort out. Can you wait for me by the game area?" "Okay, but hurry," Ben called, already eyeing the bright colors of the ring toss. With a reassuring smile, Emily quickly found a quiet spot, her heart racing as she tapped on the message. "Can we meet? I need to talk about the past. It's important." The weight of her friend's words hung heavily in the air. Emily's mind raced. Would this conversation pull her back into old patterns? Or could it be the closure she craved so she could legitimize her forward movement? In the depths of her heart, she felt capable of facing her past. After years of survival, it was time to embrace growth. She replied, bringing forth a sense of determination, "Yes, let us meet. I am ready to talk." Feeling a sense of relief wash over her, she returned to her children, who were eagerly eyeing the game stalls. Each squeal of laughter from their little bodies ignited a warmth in her chest, pushing her forward. Emily was ready to take both the leaps of faith and the difficult conversations waiting for her. "Okay, kiddos. Who wants to win some prizes?" She called out, her smile genuine. They cheered exuberantly, and in those joyous moments, Emily felt like a changed woman. She was no longer just a mother alone in her struggle, she was powerful, ready to take back her narrative. Navigating through the laughter and the lights of the fair, she also felt a shift of camaraderie with everyone around her who had experienced struggles and triumphs alike. The mentorship opportunity Mark had shared previously floated back into her mind. A newfound wave of resolve set in. She envisioned herself not only embracing her own journey but also inspiring others to do the same. As the evening wore on and the festival lights began to dim, a sense of purpose infused her spirit. Emily understood that she was stepping into an expansive future, one she could shape alongside her children, filled with hope, community, and ambition. Everything felt right. This time, instead of standing back, she was moving forward, claiming her new identity, and she knew she wouldn't face it alone. The community would be at her side, just as it always had been. In that moment of realization, Emily's heart swelled with gratitude. She felt blessed. This was her moment, a magical night woven together with love, support, and the courage to rewrite her story. And at the heart of it all was a single, shining truth: sometimes what you've been searching for is already waiting for you to claim it. With her children by her side, Emily glanced up at the stars scattered overhead, feeling a burst of determination. She turned to them, arms wide. "Let us chase some dreams together, team." Their laughter echoed back, filling the night, the sound thrumming deep in her soul. This was just the beginning. Now, if you want to keep experiencing amazing stories like this one, you need to subscribe now. Hit that bell button to get all the notifications. Don't miss out on the next exclusive story. Leave a like right away to help us out, it makes a real difference. And please, comment below with how you felt about Emily's journey. We want to hear your thoughts. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need some inspiration today. Don't wait not even one more second to spread this positivity. Only true fans understand how important you are to this channel.